Hello everyone and welcome back to Math Merit. Today we are continuing in the same concept, but we're going to take a different approach on factoring polynomials that look like this, also including factoring by grouping. Okay? Now, here we have our polynomial. Now we have 4 monomials in here. What we're going to start off by doing is taking our greatest common factor from the whole polynomial. Okay, that's going to be our very first step. So first thing we're going to be doing is seeing what is our greatest common factor. Okay, just by looking at this problem, I see that 4 is my greatest common factor because 4 can go into each one of these, okay? And I know it will be a 4q because each monomial has a q in it, okay? And I can't do q squared or anything like that because our 24q only has 1 q. So let's go ahead and factor out our 4. So we're going to take out 4q. And we're left with q to the third power minus 2q squared. My bad. Then we have our 3q and 4 times 6 is 24, so 6. Okay? Now if I were to distribute the 4 into this polynomial, I would get this equation up here. This problem up here. Okay? So we've done that. Now that we have done that step, we're going to go ahead and do what we were doing last time, which was grouping. Now, we're going to group, we have our 4q outside, let's not forget about that. And we're going to group q to the third power and 2q squared. And then we're going to group 3q minus 6. Okay. Now I grouped it in parentheses and put the whole thing in a bracket because I still want you to know that this is all going to be multiplied by 4q. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and get our greatest common factor from each of our grouping. So, now 4q on the outside, our bracket. Our greatest common factor here would be q squared. Yeah, it would be q squared. So we would multiply q squared times q to get q to the third power. And we would multiply q squared times negative 2 to get negative 2 squared, 2q squared. Okay, so it looks like that. Now let's do this side. Our greatest common factor in this problem would be a 3 because we would multiply 3 times q to get 3q and 3 times 2 to get 6. So it would look like that. You see how these two are the same? Okay, let's go and place them in their respective sides. We don't need the bracket anymore. So we have q squared plus 3 and q minus 2. Okay, we have that, and we know that after this is FOILed and we distribute our 4q amongst the problem, we would get what we started with. Okay? So, let me go ahead and let's try it out. So, we had final answer be 4q times, let me take a look at that, q squared plus 3 and give me 1 second, q minus 2. Q minus 2. Okay, so first things first, we are going to go ahead and FOIL this part of our equation. So let's go ahead and do our first would give us q to the third power. Our outer would give us negative 2q. Our inner would give us a positive 3q. And our last will give us a negative 6. Okay. This looks familiar, doesn't it? Now, after that has been FOILed, let's go ahead and if you were paying attention, you'll see that I missed something very important. Now, what I missed was that when I was multiplying my outer numbers, which was the second step of FOIL, 2 times q, I just put 2q, but it's 2q squared, so that's very important, because otherwise I would have these two as like terms and then would have to combine them, but since they're not like terms because this is q squared and this is just q, I don't have to combine them. So it's very important to be mindful of your problems and what you are multiplying, okay? Now that I caught that, what we're going to be doing is distributing our 4q into our polynomial. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So 4q times q cubed is going to give us 4q to the fourth power. And doing the same thing with this one is going to give us 8q to the third power. Doing that, let me 12q squared. And our very last one is negative 24q. Now, is this what we started with in the beginning before we did all the factoring and all that stuff? Let's go ahead and check. 4q to the fourth power minus 8q cubed plus 12q squared minus 24q. That's cute, right? Let's go ahead and check it out. We have 4q to the fourth power minus 8q cubed plus 12q squared minus 24q. So that is exactly what we started with. So we factored it by finding first the greatest common factor, then by factoring by grouping, and when we got our final answer, went ahead, checked it, and it all checks out. So let's go ahead and move on into your example for your assignment today. Very well. Here's the example I want you to go over right here. Please follow the same steps I previously took to solve the previous problem. Start off by getting the greatest common factor of the whole polynomial. A tip that I recommend is that you always, after you get the greatest common factor, you always move it down each step so you don't forget about it, okay? That is my tip for you. If you have any questions on anything or something didn't seem clear or it was a little hard to understand, please don't hesitate and ask. I'm here to help. I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to be hearing back from everyone very, very soon. Goodbye.